What's up, guys? Your boy Lord Solar Prime, aka the Fire Twin. I'm here to give you another locals report. I went to locals yesterday, and I did really well. Ended up going X1, making top 4, losing to Ben Leverett's Burning Abyss deck. I don't know how I keep losing to that deck when we have a good matchup against it. I just don't know. But anyway, we'll get to that when I get to the actual scorecards, and I'll let you guys know exactly what happened throughout the night. I had to end up leaving actually early, so I only got a chance to do game 1 against Ben Leverett in top 4. So I had to go to work. So there we go with that. But it's gonna be a really quick deck profile. Change a couple cards in my deck, but when I get to those cards, I'll let you guys know what those changes are, and we can go from there. So 2 Onuncus, triple Attondel, triple Seitsemas. I got triple Patrulea, triple Harmadik, and of course triple Antra. 1 Blaster, double Raiden, double Lyla, and double Card Trooper. That does it for the monsters. Move those out of the way. For the spells, we got double Seer. We have triple Reasoning, 1 Monster Gate, 1 Charge of the Light Brigade, 1 Burial, 1 Raigeki. And for the changes of the deck, I actually played, what is this, triple Hidden Armory. I played triple Hidden Armory because I wanted to be able to search for my Snatch Steal. And the reason why I say I want to search for my Snatch Steal because all the Infernoid monsters have a tribute effect. So I wanted to be able to utilize that effect a little bit more, even if I took my opponent's monster to use this tribute fodder. And also, Snatch Steal enables the OTK plays and allow for me to push a little bit more harder. So I ended up cutting the 2 Raigeki breaks and just adding the 3rd Hidden Army, putting my deck count out to 42. I know some of you guys might disagree with the whole 42 count of a deck, but in my eyes, when you're actually playing a card that mills, 1 card from the deck that actually searches, and with this deck is being so inconsistent, in milling and things like that, I don't think it kind of warrants to even have a plus 40 card deck, with Infernoid. So I think it's actually okay. You really can't tell the difference because you're milling everything to the graveyard. So I don't really think that's a big issue. But I did like the Hidden Armory in theory, so I went ahead and tested it out last night, and it worked really well, guys. It worked really well. Of course, to round up the spells, we played the triple MST. And for the traps that I run, it's only the 2 Needlebug Nest. As you already know, I already took out the Raigeki breaks. So let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. I have the 1 Black Rose, the 1 Yasi, which is going to get replaced for the Hot Red Archfiend once I get him. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, whatever that is. The level 8 Synchro when I get one. Starter Spark, Crimson Blader, Star Eater. I got 1 Cowboy. I actually lost the game because I didn't have Cowboy once the match was over with. I actually picked one up, but we'll get into that in just a second. The 1 Dweller, the 1 Castell, Down a Magician for the Snatch Steal plays. 103 for the Klee matchup. Got the big guy and got the Drago Sack. And I'm not done with my extra deck, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about one other thing, guys. Some people didn't understand why you guys needed to run these cards in your extra deck. But I'm going to go ahead and explain just a little bit about why you needed to run them. Of course, when you to make these guys, you need a tuner. So if you got Raiden on board and you guys are actually staring down one of your monsters that has a big attack, or they actually have 1 back row, just depending on the situation. Of course, if you're going to sync with Raiden, you're going to use Antra to make Gaia Knight. You're going to synchro to make with Harmadik to make Scrap Archfiend. You're going to exceed to make Gem Knight Pearl. A lot of people didn't understand why you needed to run these. This actually resets your ranks and your levels on your field, so you're able to make an OTK push against your opponent. So once you reset your levels on your board, you can actually put more Infernoids on the board to actually push the game, guys. I've actually done this particular combo at least 4 times since I had the deck. And I did this once, to my knowledge. Yeah, once. I actually did that one once, and I've yet to use Antra and Gaia Knight, but I know that situation is coming. But you always want to have these cards in your extra deck because they're very important because, like I said in my last video, you never know when that OTK is actually going to come. But you always want to be prepared for it, guys. I dropped the what it was, the Felgrand from the extra deck to actually make room for something else. I think it was Gaga Cowboy, because I don't see myself getting rid of 2 Dontuls just for a God Knight. I haven't ran into that situation yet where I want to rank up for a rank 8, and until I actually come across that situation, I'll make that decision whether I need to change my extra deck to put them back in or not, because I just haven't ran into that situation, and this is just too important for the deck, guys. Just too important. So that does it for the extra deck, and that does it for that little particular explanation why you guys actually need to play Gaia, Archfiend, and Pearl in your extra deck. All right, moving on to my side deck. It's kind of straightforward. It changed a little bit from last week, but not much. Have the 1 Soul Drain. Have the 2 Fiend Comedian. Of course, you guys know what that does. The double Defusion. The double Mischief for the Yokai. The double Mistake. The triple Fairy Wind. And triple Chaos Hunter. A lot of you guys might not know what Chaos Hunter does. In my locals, Infernoids is taking off really, really fast. So I wanted to be prepared for the mirror match. So I actually picked up triple Chaos Hunter just for that particular matchup. I did not want to lose against Infernoids, which you guys have to play kind of weird anyway. But we'll get to that in just a moment, because I did have a mirror match against my own deck from last week, guys. So we're gonna get into that in just a second. But I wanted to pick up triple Chaos Hunters to help me against that matchup. And what this card lets you do is your opponent cannot banish any cards, and if this card is in your hand and your opponent special summon, you can actually ditch a card from your hand and special summon this card from your hand. I know this may throw your reasoning off, but once you side this card in and you hit it off reasoning, it's kind of what you actually want to do in a mirror match, is hit this card off reasoning. Although it does have that summoning condition where you can summon it from your hand, but you actually want to hit this off reasoning if you can. Of course, once you have an established graveyard. But let's go ahead and get into these matchups. Round 1, I actually went against Shadows, and that was a pretty good game. I got game 1. Of course, I sided in Defusions. What are they? I sided in the double Defusions, the Fiend Comedians, and the Mind Drain. Soul Drain, I'm sorry. I got game 1. I actually got him down to 800 life points in game 2, which I did not have a Cowboy at that particular time. So he ended up walking away with that game. But it's funny how that game went on, because once he made a push on me and, I was able to get him down to 800 life points, he killed me at the very next turn because he was able to put Dad on board. And I made Castel put the Dad back in his deck, shuffled his deck, and he topped that the Dad again and summoned it and went in on me again. So that was a pretty good game, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Game 3, I ended up winning in time. I was at 5,000. He was at 5,000. I was at 8,000, so I was able to get him in time. Moving on to game 2, I actually went against Infernoids, where I actually sided in the double Fiend Comedian, and I also sided in, what else I sided for this guy? I actually sided in the triple Chaos Hunters. Now, a funny thing about this particular Infernoid player, he actually was playing my build from last week with the Raigeki breaks and things like that. So I thought it was actually pretty cool that he watched my video and he actually played my build. So I had a really good time playing that guy. He actually went first, and I drew Snatch Steals, took his Raiden. I milled a good amount of Infernoids for his Raiden and also for my other effects that let me mill. And I was able to actually push on him game 1. Game 2 played out very, very differently. I had to actually put 2 Antras on board after he went first. Of course, he milled 2 big Infernoids, putting them in the grave. I had to put 2 Antras on board with my Raiden, and which was kind of weird, but you have to play that matchup really, really weird. Neither one of us resolved the Chaos Hunter on board. We both end up just not even seeing that card on board, actually. But what ended up happening was I put the 2 Antras on board with the Raiden, so I was able to, on his turn, banish both of his big monsters, both his big Infernoids from his graveyard, using 1 Antra effect, and the other one taking Raiden off board to use the other, to banish the other big Infernoid from his graveyard. So I thought that was pretty unique, that you have to actually play against Infernoids like that. You have to basically get your little guys or your big guys on board to actually get rid of your own monsters to get their cards out of the grave, and just kind of pray that they just don't come from the hand with any big Infernoids. So I found that matchup to be really, really kind of weird, just playing differently, but I had fun nonetheless. So I 2-0'd that Infernoid player. Moving on to a matchup that I really wasn't prepared for, which was a Monarch stun deck. I don't think I had anything to really side against that deck, guys. What it was, the Chaos Hunters or the Fiend Comedians, anything like that. I didn't have anything to side against him. But I ended up winning game. I ended up 2-0 the guy, but it was really weird how that actually matchup played out, because he had Vanity's Fiend, Vanity's Fiend, and Majesty Fiend, and he was just cycling through both of them. I didn't really have a plan to attack either one, but he just kept switching them out. And whenever he would switch out, I had to switch my game plan that particular turn. Where versus last round, I was like, all right, I have to deal with Vanities. Well, all right, he summoned this on my turn, I have to deal with Majesty Fiend. So I ended up getting the whole thing, but it was a really, really good match. It was really close. So I ended up getting his deck profile. So that's the one that's when I actually uploaded, 2 videos back. So please go check that out. It was a really good deck profile, guys. Moving on to round 4, I went against Burning Abyss, which was Zach Leverett. We ended up tying, just for time consumption. So I tied against Ben Leverett's Burning Abyss. I went against another Burning Abyss player round 5. Just for time issues, we tied, so we both can go to top 8, which was pretty cool. So in top 8, I ran across the Monarch player again. Of course, I didn't have a side for him, but I ended up 2-0 him relatively easy, relatively quick, quicker than I did in the previous match. Of course, going into round 7, I played against Burning Abyss again, which is Ben Leverett. And of course, I sided in for that matchup. But of course, I ran into time issues. So I sided in the 2 Fiend Comedians, the Mrs. Zodiokai, and of course, the Soul Drain. I didn't see any of my side deck cards, but of course, this is only game 1. Didn't have enough time to finish the whole game. But his first turn, of course, he ended with Double Dante, Scarm, Search, Tour Guided End Phase, Pass. I opened with Reasoning, Hidden Armory, and a couple of Infernoids in my hand. I was able to Snatch Steal his one of his Dantes, Mill, Overlay. Of course, I did that in main phase too. Overlay for down is just in main phase too. But I was able to Snatch Steal his Dante, put 2 big Infernoids on board. I think it was a Dontu and something else. I was able to attack, leave him at 27, main phase 2, summon down a musician. He actually broke that board the next turn, and I was just kind of out of it. Then I was like, man, I have to go. So I kind of just scooped and was like, you got it, man. So I ended up making top 4 with the deck, which is relatively good. And I didn't have any complaints about, the matchups or anything like that, the way everything played out. Everything played out to my advantage, I think, as versus last week where I just didn't make top 4 at all. But I had a really good time. I also want to let you guys know I did upload a video with Corey McDuffie explaining his thoughts on Infernoid, so please go check that out. And also check out Anthony Elsenberg on his YouTube channel, where I actually deck profiled my same build on his channel, but I think it was right after round 2, so please go support him and check him out. And it's been your boy Loyal Solar Prime, aka the Fire Twin. I'm out, guys. Peace.